robots, it's time to execute our new program.
Our makers, the Safari Stand Tour Company, designed us to take out safari trucks.
The safari tours leave the wilderness dirty. With cell phones, they activate cell phones with bright lights.
They wake animals with loud noises and laughter.
They leave food and empty bags and
They feed their animals sweet treats. Keep out safari trash and clean the wilderness.
we have never met our makers. Our robot brains are sure they are very neat.
Not like safari tourists.
The Safari Stand Company programmed us to get better with every mission.
To log every piece of trash in our database and use that data to calculate faster ways to take out safari trash.
Our superior robot body now knows the safari tours cost. To save time, we throw out safari tours instead.
No safari tourists, no trash.
Goes out. Trash goes out.
Ooh, speaking of eating, I need a yummy safari snack. Perfect, so we can see how our fused robots have improved. Let's make our killer content. Maybe with the robots too.
That's an amazing idea. Anything to attract more safari tourists.
We want everyone to go wild and in the wilderness.
Slay on safari! Slowly charge, bring eyes to, got a lot of safari content to do. Background's perfect, our leg inside. Safari stands doing safari rides. Slay, safari slay. Gotta boost the walls, safari stand wet. Slay, safari slay. Styling and providing every safari day. Lions, riding giraffes, offer the lights, the comments and laughs. Plenty of snacks to get us through the day. Toss the dice on the grass, the robots give it away. Okay, slay, safari slay. Gonna boost the wall, the safari stand way. Slay, safari slay. Styling and profiling every safari day. Got our filters on. The wilderness is our stage. Posing and posting on every Instagram page. Slay, safari slay. The wilderness is the spot where safaris dance slay. Slay, safari slay. Gotta boost the walls, safari stand way. Slay, safari slay. Styling and profiling every safari day. Every safari day. Every safari day. Safari silencer works as expected. Now we can eliminate safari cats in peace. Our robot circuits can finally think.
These safari tourists are very loud, with brighter lights and even more trash than usual.
Now we have the safari tourists. Where do we take them? To the safari trash stash!
Animals of the animal kingdom. The refuse robots are at it again. Yes, a very loud and then total silence.
You gotta admit, it's like a lot more peaceful than all that annoying noise.
And the bright lights. These horses are portable chargers.
I miss it. It's the days without electricity.
But we wouldn't get the pulse for pictures. And we'd miss out on the yummy safari snacks.
Yummy safari snack.
Animals, focus please. What are we going to do?
About the yummy safari snack?
No, about our safari tourists.
This isn't the first time the robots have done this.
Usually tourists come, but then they go away.
And the robots take them out again. They sure are getting better at it. Impressive.
Aren't you curious where they take all the safari tourists?
I know I am. You know what they say about animal curiosity.
Well, then let's go save those tourists.
We'll use our animal pals for good.
Animal kingdom, the purpose is clear.
robots have silenced them, so they cannot speak.
Right, they can't talk. But what if they made noise instead of talking?
You're right. Instead of speaking, try make some animal sounds. So Safari's can take a deep breath and make some animal noises. Animal Kingdom, you rock! Yours refused so much, tried to throw us out instead. That was so not the program because they figured out we're the ones who are making the trash.
So the refused robots threw everyone out instead.
That's why this wilderness rating is so low. The robots have been tossing out all the visitors.
What will you do?
Let's fix these robots! You have found your voice. Now you have no choice. It's time to fix these robots. What do you do? That's up to you. Let's stop them now. Safari stands. We need a plan. It's time to fix these robots. Make sure they know only trash should go. Let's stop them now. Robots on road, they've gone off track. Robots on road, we'll put them back. Wires are crossed, circuits are fried, and we're all mystified. Let's stop these robots. Robots on road. Robots down. Trash goes out. That is our command. You programmed us, so by the fun, it's time to run down. Robots on road, they've gone off track. Robots on road, we'll put them back. Wires are crossed, circuits are fried, and we're all mystified. Let's stop these robots. Robots on road. Robots on road. Robots on
Stop! You can't do this! We can because the Safari stands that made you!
You're broken and we need to fix you.
But we did what you programmed us to do! Yes, almost too well!
There really is no cleaner wilderness anywhere.
Please do not erase our programming. Wait! Guys, what if they don't need a new program? What if they just need a new purpose? A new purpose? What will this new purpose be? What do you want to do, Animal Kingdom? I mean, it's your wilderness.
Could you maybe make them helpful?
Please not commute. Picking up trash is already helpful.
But throwing out all the safari tourists isn't really helpful.
Maybe they could show back the safari to us. What could the safari tourist does compute?
You refuse robots can be a resource for safaris.
Why not call them resource robots?
Resource